everybody, welcome back to One Seed, One World. So we're into fall now. Probably for a lot of you, a lot of your crops may be done. You may still be getting things like pumpkins or butternut squash, maybe some dried beans, depending on how much frost and cold weather you've already had. One thing I wanted to talk about today and show you are these Jack B. Little pumpkins. Now, I planted these a couple years ago in a different bed and grew some that I mainly use for decoration. You may normally see these in your grocery store around this time of year, and a lot of times they are just used for decoration. And that's what I had grown them for originally. And then I didn't grow them again this year. However, there must have been some left out here, some seeds left out here, and they ended up in my one of my large raised beds where I grow my tomatoes. And so in the summer, I noticed a squash vine coming up and starting to kind of crawl up in between my scarlet runner beans and my tomatoes. But you know, most squash vines kind of look all alike, the vining type, until you start getting the actual fruit on them. So I wasn't sure what it was. I was hoping it was butternut squash, but it turned out to be some more Jack B. Little pumpkins that showed up. So, just a couple of things about these. They take about 95 days to get to maturity once they germinate. So take that into consideration when you're growing them. They do take a long time. They're not going to be ready till fall. You will want to pick them after the vine itself, or I should say the stem, turns brown. If the stem is still green, then it's not quite ready yet. You don't have to trellis them, but it's probably preferred because when they're grown on the ground, they have more chance to get disease or rot on them. So if you've got something to grow them up over, then do so. And they do take a lot of room. They kind of go and go and go. I will show you here. I'll show you here a quick clip of kind of where mine ended up. I'm on the opposite side of a 16-foot cattle panel, and the vines grew all the way over this, as well as down the row of my tomatoes. As my tomatoes kind of finished towards the end of summer, the Jack B. Little vines took over. So you do need a lot of room for them. Sometimes their vines can get, 20, 30 feet long and even longer. And you'll get multiple little pumpkins per vine. Now, I read somewhere that you get like 6 to 8 per vine, but I think that's per vine on the plant, not per plant, because I have tons all growing through here on different vines. So I don't know how many you get per plant, but I guess it depends on how many vines your plant has. Now, you might be thinking, why should I just grow something that I'm going to use for decoration? Well, sometimes growing things like gourds or mini pumpkins are fun to grow for decoration that you can use in the fall if you have room for it. But the cool thing about these is they're not just for decoration. Jack B. Little pumpkins are edible. You eat them just like you would a normal pumpkin or say like a butternut squash. They can be used the same way. Now granted, you're not going to get as much because they will fit in the palm of your hand. But this would be a great thing for one way that you can cook them is by cutting off the top, scraping out the seeds, and then just baking them whole like that. Put some butter inside, salt, pepper. You can also do some other types of spices in there, like that you would mix with butternut squash or pumpkin. Maybe a little bit of maple syrup in there, a little bit of nutmeg, I don't know, sage, those kinds of things you could put in there. And they could be little individual serving things for kind of maybe like a early appetizer or just something that looks cool on the plate. If you're having family and friends over, it can be a little topic of conversation. Also, I think the kids will really enjoy these because they are kid size. And so if each kid has its own little pumpkin on their plate, own individual pumpkin, kids love that kind of stuff. So since they are edible, you're not just growing something for decoration only. Now, if you're looking at growing, something to do like canning pumpkin or freezing pumpkin and want a large amount of pumpkin, I wouldn't recommend these because it would take a lot of work to get enough pumpkin. You'd, be baking and cutting up tons of these little pumpkins. So maybe go for a larger variety if that's what your goal is. But for little individual servings, topic of conversation and stuff for the kids, as well as decoration, they're kind of awesome. So check out Jack B. Little Pumpkins if you've got room for the vines to grow, and you know, something new to try in your garden. If you've grown them in your garden, put some comments down below and let me know. Always happy to see what other people are doing in their neck of the woods. What did you use them for? Have you cooked them before? Besides doing individual servings, did you ever use them in another way? Did you cook them in a different way? Let me know that too, to give me some more ideas. Anyway, I hope whatever's going on in your neck of the woods is going fantastic. Doug, my bantam rooster, as usual, is screaming his head off over there. Every time that I film, he has to do this. He wants to make sure that everybody knows that he's here. Anyway, I hope that you're having a fantastic day. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and we will see you again soon. Have a great day. Namaste.